Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of My English Podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and today we're talking about something that secretly controls all of us. Something that can destroy dreams, kill motivation, and delay success. Yes, today's topic is procrastination. Have you ever told yourself, I'll do it later? Maybe you wanted to clean your room, finish a project, start exercising, or just send an important email. But you didn't. You scrolled on your phone, watched one more video, or made another cup of coffee. And at the end of the day, you said, I'll start tomorrow. But guess what? Tomorrow never comes, right? Well, today, we're going to talk about why that happens. Why does your brain love procrastination? Why does it fight against work even when you know it's good for you? And most importantly, how can you train your brain to stop delaying your dreams? I'm not going to discuss this alone because today, joining me in the studio is a special guest, someone who understands the science of success deeply. He is a motivational speaker, author, and performance coach. He has helped thousands of students, athletes, and professionals beat procrastination and take control of their focus. Please welcome Mr. Daniel Carter.
Daniel, welcome to My English Podcast. How are you doing today?
Hey, Mike. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I love the topic you chose. Procrastination is one of my favorite enemies to fight. I like that. Favorite enemy. So, Daniel, before we dive deep, could you tell our listeners a bit about what you do? Sure. I'm a performance and mindset coach. I work with people who struggle to stay consistent, students who can't study on time, professionals who delay tasks, and even athletes who lose focus. Basically, I help people understand how their brain works so they can take back control and stop wasting time.
That's awesome, because honestly, procrastination affects everyone, no matter your job or age. So Daniel, let's start from the beginning. Why do we procrastinate? Why does our brain love to delay?
Great question. The truth is, procrastination isn't laziness. It's protection. Our brain's main job is to keep us safe and comfortable. Whenever we face a task that feels hard, uncertain, or boring, the brain says, danger ahead.
Danger? But it's just an assignment.
Exactly. But the brain doesn't care if it's a tiger or a math test. It only knows one thing: discomfort. So instead of starting that task, your brain gives you an idea. Let's check social media for a minute. That minute turns into an hour.
So basically, procrastination is your brain choosing comfort over challenge.
Exactly. It's a short-term reward system. You avoid pain now, but pay the price later. That makes sense. So how does dopamine fit into this? The famous dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical that makes you feel good. It rewards you for doing things that bring pleasure. When you scroll TikTok, watch Netflix, or eat junk food, you get an instant dopamine hit. But studying, exercising, or working hard, that's a delayed dopamine reward. Your brain says, why wait for a reward when I can have one now?
So the modern world basically traps us in a dopamine loop.
Yes, exactly. Your brain isn't lazy, it's addicted to easy rewards.
That's so true. But Daniel, why do we keep saying, I'll do it later, even when we know it's bad?
Because later feels safe. When you say, I'll do it later, you're telling your brain, don't worry, we'll be fine. It removes guilt in the moment. You think you're being responsible, but you're actually lying to yourself.
Ooh, that's deep. I think we've all lied to ourselves like that.
Me too. I used to say, I'll write that book next month. And then, next month, and next month. Finally, I realized later is just a polite word for never. That's gold. Later is just a polite word for never.
All right, Daniel, now let's talk solutions. If our brain is wired to delay, How do we reprogram it? Step 1. Start small. Don't tell yourself, I'll study for 3 hours. Tell yourself, I'll study for 10 minutes. Once you start, momentum builds naturally. That's called the 5-minute rule or activation rule. Because starting is the hardest part, right? Exactly. Once you begin, your brain switches from resistance mode to focus mode. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. That's powerful. What's the second step? Step 2. Remove distractions. Keep your phone in another room. Block websites. Set up a clean workspace. Make it hard to escape your task. Makes sense. What about mindset? That's step 3. Change your self-talk. Stop saying, I have to. Start saying, I choose to. When you say, I have to study, it feels like punishment. But when you say, I choose to study, you take back control. Your brain loves control. It hates being forced.
That's such a smart trick. Words shape mindset. Exactly. Step 4. Reward yourself properly. When you finish a small goal, allow yourself a small reward. A walk, a snack, or a favorite show. This retrains your dopamine system to enjoy productive actions.
So we're basically hacking dopamine?
Yes, you turn productivity into pleasure.
Daniel, I've heard that having a routine helps fight procrastination. Is that true?
Absolutely. The brain loves patterns. When you do something at the same time every day, your brain expects it. It becomes automatic. So instead of thinking, should I work or not, your brain just says, it's time to work.
Can you share your personal routine?
Sure. I wake up at 6 a.m., drink water, meditate for 5 minutes, and plan my day on paper, not on my phone. Then I do my hardest task first. Because if you win the morning, you win the day.
That's great advice. So the trick is, don't negotiate with your brain. Exactly. If you wake up and say, should I work out or sleep more? You've already lost. Decide once and repeat daily. Daniel, I think people confuse motivation with discipline. What's the difference? Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a habit. Motivation says, I feel like doing it. Discipline says, I'll do it even when I don't feel like it. When motivation dies, discipline keeps you moving. And the funny thing, once you act disciplined, motivation comes back. So motivation is temporary, discipline is permanent. Exactly. Motivation starts the engine. Discipline drives the car. Do you have any story or example of someone who overcame procrastination? Yes, a student named Leo. He was failing his classes because of endless scrolling and video games. We started with 5-minute study sessions, just 5 minutes a day. He felt silly at first, but he did it daily. Within 3 months, his 5 minutes became 1 hour. 6 months later, he was top of his class. He told me, I stopped waiting for motivation. I just started. That's inspiring. It proves that tiny actions can create huge results. So let's quickly summarize today's wisdom. Your brain avoids discomfort. That's why you procrastinate. Dopamine makes easy things addictive. Start small to break resistance. Remove distractions. Reward progress. And build habits that run on discipline, not mood. Exactly, Mike. You can't fight your brain. You train it. Daniel, this was such a valuable session. Thank you for sharing your insights today. My pleasure, Mike. Always great chatting with you. And to everyone listening, don't let procrastination control your life. Take one small step today. Even if it's just 5 minutes, start now. Hey, don't procrastinate on this either. Like, share, and subscribe to My English Podcast. If you enjoyed today's talk, tell your friends, and let's grow together. Thanks, Carter. You said it perfectly. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm Mike, this is Daniel Carter, and you've been listening to My English Podcast. See you next time, and remember, action first, motivation second.